Thank you to Maggie Spaghetti for your very nice comment and for inspiring this content. I hope it is useful information to you and to somebody else. It was fun to brainstorm. So I spent the majority of my life subsisting on beige foods. I ate mostly peanut butter and cheese and eggs and bread and tortillas and pasta and rice and potatoes. And for the next 2 decades of my life, I get to say that I ate mostly beige foods. So I definitely have I want to say wealth, and also I'm like, well, you know what's 2 decades? I have some experience with food aversions and with being fearful about eating colorful foods, and I would like to share some tips of things that really helped me to overcome my issues. For me, it was about, for everyone, it's about control. We all want to control things, we all control different things, and when I was really little, I realized I could control what I ate. And it's been a journey for me in shifting that towards having that be health promoting as opposed to just an outlet for anxiety and depression and needing to control things. So what is it that you use as an outlet for your control? And maybe it's food, or maybe it is food for one of your loved ones, and that's why you clicked on this video. Like everything, it is a mind game. Food is absolutely a mind game, and then it absolutely becomes physical. So if you're someone who's like, oh, I think about eating X food and I literally gag, like my body has a physical reaction, I hear you, because I've had that, and I know that it's real. I know that your body's really feeling it, and I'm here to tell you that you have the ability to change that, it can change. You are not stuck forever in fearing broccoli, little Annie. You're not. You'll love it one day. So here we go. 5 tips. Tip number 1, is to involve yourself in the food prep. So literally, just get your hands on the food that you want to eat. Even if you are uninterested in eating it, find a friend who you can roast some carrots and sweet potatoes for, or steam some broccoli, or make soup, or whatever it is. Find a friend who's making those things for themselves and ask to have dinner with them, or hang out with them while they make dinner. Literally do anything you can to just surround yourself with these foods that you're scared of. Instead of having it in your head as this big deal thing or this whatever, bring it into your day-to-day existence. Make it for someone else. Like literally just go to the grocery store and touch broccoli. Like just put your hand on it. For me, that was huge in being less scared of these things, was just to surround myself with them and to continually surround myself with them. And with that being said, to shift my perspective from this very fear-based about it to feeling curious and being like, you know, where was that grown, or what would that be like, or what does that feel like, or why am I so picky? And as much as you can, and it is absolutely a process, let go of the fear and the judgment about all of it and shift your perspective towards being curious, and do your best to stay open to knowing that things change all the time and that you can absolutely change your eating habits. So, tip number 2 for overcoming your food aversions is blending. If you are similar in your food aversions to me, I know there are as many different food aversions as there are people. For me, it was texture. Tastes were less of an issue than textures. I was anti-chunk. There were not allowed to be any chunks in anything, ever. No chunks. So smoothies were great. I was totally fearful of eating whole pieces of fruit, and yet smoothies I would drink. So if that's you, have a smoothie every day. You're still doing great. You're having fruit. You can put spinach in there. You can put in kale. Even blends up more than you may think it does. Can be a really nice way to add in other things you might not normally consume and make it all just one homogeneous texture that you will enjoy, and not have to have that like, what texture is going to hit my mouth, because, you know, that was what it was for me at least. It's like, okay, it's all going to be the same texture. It was like knowing what to expect. could really get into all the psychology of it, which is interesting. Soups also you can make all one consistency, and just butternut squash is a great one to have be really smooth. There's a blender, food processor really is a worthwhile investment in my opinion. If you are someone who maybe wouldn't eat foods just boiled on the stove and made in a stew, but if you blend them up into a soup, then you will eat it, do that. Get a blender. It makes a big difference, and sauces can make a really big difference in making a meal more exciting. Sauces can also be a good way to, again, like incorporate things that maybe you wouldn't eat. So if you'll eat pasta and red sauce, maybe add some vegetables and blend that in to the red sauce, and then pour it over your pasta, or make some sauce to pour over potatoes or things you're already eating. Which brings me to number 3, which is to incorporate the new foods with foods you're comfortable with. So if you'll eat pasta, if you'll eat a baked potato, see how you can incorporate just a little bit of new foods with these foods that you have an A-OK relationship with and that your body trusts and knows what to expect from. That was really helpful for me as well. Like, you know, make a soup and dip bread in it, or have croutons on your salad, or whatever it is. I definitely got caught in like, oh, I need to love broccoli now, and remember that it's a transition. Like these things will come, so give yourself credit for where you are and just keep on keeping on. The next one, okay, with that one also I have written down, this was helpful for me, was like shredded carrots in oatmeal or in muffins or bread or things. Again, like taking foods that you will eat and finding ways to incorporate some of these new foods into them. Super helpful. Super helpful. Okay, now number 4 is to branch out slowly with similar foods that you will eat. So like if you're someone who's eating potatoes, maybe eat a sweet potato or butternut squash. Know that it's kind of a spectrum, or at least for me it was a spectrum of food aversions. Like all the brassica, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and those things were way scarier than sweet potatoes were. So if you're open-minded to eating sweet potatoes, then do that and eat those and continue to eat those every day. And even potatoes, these are health foods. So eat the foods, eat whole foods as often as you can get yourself to eat them. And if they are potatoes and you want to eat potatoes every day, here's one person on the internet telling you to eat potatoes every day, and to keep going and to keep progressing on the path, and know that more vegetables and more produce and less of that constricted feeling or that true physical response to like, oh no, my body does not want that, that will dissipate. It really can. I'm here to say that you too can love broccoli. And I would have laughed hard at me for saying that. I mean, part of me knew it was going to happen one day, and part of me was like, there's no way I'll never eat this. And here I am, talking to my phone about it, looking at my computer. So my last tip, number 5, tip 5, to overcome your food aversion is to make these new foods similar to foods you're already eating. So back to potatoes, if you'll eat potato fries, like fried, or, you know, making the home fry version, maybe do that with some other vegetables and roast them up. Or bread zucchini, you can like zucchini in a little bit of water and then breading and bake those off, and those can be kind of similar to potato oven fries, but they're different food. And then it's just slowly, for me, retraining your brain about how you think about these things and letting go of the fear of it and being like, oh, I ate X food and I actually enjoyed it. Oh, there was cauliflower blended in that sauce and my body did not reject it, and I'm still here, and in fact it tasted pretty good because maybe you made it just a little bit of cauliflower and some nutritional yeast and nuts, and you poured that over potatoes and it was delightful, and then you're like, oh, cauliflower's not that bad, huh? So those are my 5 tips. I really think it comes down to exposure therapy and patience, which the patience part was big for me. And I will say, in my experience, once it happened, it really escalated once once a couple of new foods came into my life and I started shifting how I thought about it, things really picked up super quickly. And so maybe they will for you too. Just keep on keeping the foods around you, stay curious to trying new things, and just keep it on, and trust that your body will eventually ask for the nutrients it needs, because I've really become more and more of a believer in our bodies being smarter than our heads, and your body will ask for what it wants. Your body will tell you what nutrition it needs. Your job is to slow down and quiet down and listen and hear what it wants and respect that. So why do I care so much about food? Lots of reasons, separate video. Obviously, we die first without air and without sleep and without water. And so food is not the end-all be-all of our health and our existence. However, food is definitely in the top 5, and food is quite literally what our cells metabolize to create new cells and to keep going. And so the whole "you are what you eat" is some real shit, friends. It's very real. And for me, I will end with saying that of all the benefits, and obviously there are so many benefits of all the things we can do to take care of ourselves, food especially, mental health was the biggest thing. So physically, yeah, I feel so much better eating less processed stuff. Mentally though, that's what's kept me doing what I'm doing. So I hope something here helped you, resonated with you. I hope you can pass this along to someone who might need it or take something of value. I would love to hear more of your tips or your experiences, because food is such a journey for all of us, which I say sarcastically and I mean very seriously. So thanks for listening to some things I learned along my journey, and thanks for being you.